there is a broad shift towards data privacy and thinking about what's best for the consumer in terms of how their data is used and permissions by all kinds of third parties. All big tech is involved, to some degree. They each have their own way of interpreting it, and they all want to be the ultimate steward of privacy. So there's things in place from Google already. We've heard all about it. Amazon, is a champion allegedly of user privacy too, to whatever degree makes sense. And they all want to use their guardianship as the privacy arbiter to push the other ones out. There's a lot of jockeying here surrounding that protection of user privacy. So this is basically the latest move of Apple to say, hey, we're such a champion for user privacy that we're trying to limit tracking for everyone else. That's how this is coming off essentially. And it makes a ton of sense to do that, obviously, from a strategic perspective. But because all of big tech is following this trend to some degree, it's going to create a huge ripple effect on the micro level for all the individual digital marketers, ad tech providers, agencies, that are involved in the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely seeing the butterfly effect here, right? So you think like that movie Ashton Kutcher, Butterfly Effect, he goes back, one thing changes, and then everything else changes as a result. And this is one of those inflection points. Today, what Apple is doing, just to get into like the very specific micro trends, with iOS 17, different parameters are going to be fully obfuscated or dropped from the URL. Now, the initial focus is on private browsing, but within that, as they remove user identifiers, or they have basically algorithms that say, hey, there's some stuff in the URL. They're going to make a decision at the discretion of Apple, right? To say, hey, I like this, but I don't like this. This is privacy, but it's not private. This one isn't, et cetera. So things that are going to hurt marketers, today it's with private browsing, but eventually, as it becomes part of this broader trend, is things like attributing traffic, conversions. If you use remarketing using classic Google tags and classic Facebook tags, right? And you just do like, I do Facebook retargeting and Google retargeting, those things are going to be much more complicated.